Hello everyone, welcome back to my backend development journey. My name is Omar, and in this part of the video we are going to continue where we stopped in the last video. If you are new here, I'm currently documenting my journey as I learn backend web development. So in the first video we actually created this application which is just a basic web API server, and the only things we implemented are two get requests, one to get three get requests, one to get a message from the server, another one to get all of our users, and the last one to get a specific user. We even implemented some basic validation here. So into this part of the video we are going to be implementing other HTTP methods like post, put, patch, and delete, and we are going to explain what they are as we move along. So make sure to hit this subscribe button and also like the video so others can see it too. So let's get started. Let's actually test the project and see if it's still working. So yeah, also while you are at it, if you've not yet seen the first video, make sure to check it out. I'm gonna link it up in the cards above. Okay, so let's send a request to our users, well, not a push request but a get request, and we can get all of our users and we can get a user with a specific ID. So it seems like everything is working. Now getting back to the code, the first thing we are going to implement is a post request handler to create a new user. So let's do that by starting with app dot post to create a post request handler, and for the endpoint or path or route or path name, whatever you call it, it should be /API /users /new, and then we pass in our handler. We're taking the request, the response, and then we create a function body. So in here, the first thing we want to do is to get the body of the request from the user. So to do that, all of the requests sent by the user is stored inside of this request object. So we need the request dot body, this one here. So I'll just destructure that from the request object. So const body is equal to request, and then we are just going to return a message so it doesn't leave our request on pending. So let's just do res dot send, just say send status 201. So here we are going to actually log the body and see what we have in there. So now opening up our Thunder client, I have this collection here and I have all of the methods I have in here. So in here we are just going to change our method to post and to /user/new. So inside of let me just create a new request so we can do this together. A new request, create our user. It's going to be a post request and it goes to our localhost to the user/new endpoint. So inside of Thunder client we can pass the request body in all of these different ways. You can use GraphQL, text in JSON, or as a form data here we could use JSON. So let's just do this real quick, and our user has a name and an age. So let's just say you codes, and for the age let's just say okay, I'm 19. So, and then here we get our status 201. Let's just check our console, but something isn't quite right here. We are getting an undefined. So the reason we are getting an undefined instead of our body is because by default Express.Js does not pass the JSON we get from the body of the request. So to do that, we have to import another function here. It's called JSON. So this is a middleware, but we are going to talk about middlewares later on. So all we have to do is use it inside of application. So we just say app.use, then we call in the JSON function in here. So now let's try sending the request once more, and hopefully, yep, we got our body successfully. So now we can continue our building. So using that data we get back from our client, we are going to create a new user, but we do have to make sure that we have those data. So I'll further destructure this into name and age. So meaning from this request get the body, and from the body get the name and the age. So we say if not name and not age. So basically, if we don't have the name and the age, we are going to return status 401 400 by request. And let's also send a message along. So let's just say this should be status, and then we send a message. We can just do message, just say let's just say bad request name and age are required, and yep, we should drop this in parentheses. So yeah, if we do have those two values, let's just append it to our user. So in here, let's do what do we call our users. So let's do users dot push, and then we just pass in name and age, but also we need an ID. So to do that, we just say ID should be our users dot length +1. So we just take the length of our current list, our current array, which in this case is 1 2 3 4. Then we just add 1 to it. But to make sure we don't have any issues, let's just make this sequential. And then after that, we send out a response. So we do res dot send, or let's do our status 201 dot send. Let's do message user created successfully. So let's test it. So now when we send this to the server, we get the message user created successfully. And now if we try getting all of our users, let's make sure this is a get request. and you can see right at the bottom we have our new user ucodes. So also let's just try sending another user, call him James 36, send. Let me just use to get all users I have here. Now we have all of them. So yeah, that is it. So after this, okay, let's also try not passing our age, and then we get a bad request. And why are we not getting the message? Wait, let's see. Okay, we did not. Oh, okay. So that is because we only, yeah, this should be all like this. So when we have one value without the other, okay, yep, we say badge request name and age are required. So let's do age 40. And now if we try getting our users, we get our James in there. So I think that is it. We could also expand on our validation here, but I'm just going to stop right here because in future videos we are going to actually use a real validator. So that is how we create post requests and get our data from the body of the request. So now we are going to create our puts request in here. So slash API slash users slash, we are going to update a user based on his or her ID. So we take a response, take a request and a response like this. Okay, so the difference between a put request and a patch request is that with a put request you are updating the entire entry in that in your database. Say for example you want to update a user, with put you will have to update all of the fields, but if you don't want to do that you have to do it manually by spreading the old information you have about the user so that you don't get any errors. If you do not pass the old data into the new data, all of these fields will just get deleted, or if you are using a database that will just appear as null or empty. So let's just get the ID of the user from the request, and we already did that here, and we have all of this validation. So let's just take everything we have here and paste it in here. So we take the ID of the user from the params, which is this one right here, and then we pass it into an integer. If the passed result is not a number, we are just going to send this and say badge request invalid ID. And also if the ID is not an index, we just say that user does not exist. Okay, this is we are doing it right here. So from this point onwards we just assume that we have our user. So now what we are going to do is actually, let's just see, updated info. I forgot to do this. So const updated info is equal to, so this should be an array. the ID should be our users, right, at the index we got. So at user index, right, dot id, we have that, right? And also, if we're updating a user, we do need to take the body from the request. Let's also do this. Okay, let's just say const body equals to request rec dot body, like this. Or we could also destructure it, but we are just going to leave it like this, and then we are going to spread it out here. So let's just spread the body like this. Or if you want, you can just still do this. We do this, let's take the name and the age, like that, and then we just pass it in here, name and age. So now we need to update the user, so we have to do users at user index should be now our updated info, and then we send back a response. So we do res dot status 201 or dot send. Now I'm going to send a message saying user updated successfully, and then maybe we should just pass in new info to be our updated info, like that. So let's go on ahead and try that. So I'll just create a new request. In here I'm going to say update, or let's use put or user. So this should be a put request to localhost users / let's try updating user 2, and then for our body, let's come to our body right here, a JSON. We don't have to pass in an ID because we do have the logic to retain the old ID. So let's just pass in a new name. The second user, what was he called? It's called Yunus. I'm gonna update that to something else. So I'm gonna call him Vladimir. I don't know why I choose that name, and his age should be around 74. Let's send a request. Yeah, and there we go. We have successfully updated our user with the new info. As you can see here, we got the new information. We can just send another request here, and you can see that Vladimir is now updated here. We could add validation also, but I'm not going to do that because very soon we are going to use a real validator to validate all of these fields. So for now we are just going to create the endpoints, assuming the client knows what we are expecting. This isn't good for some real project, but yeah, we are just learning. So that is our put request. Also, just to show you what I meant by saying if we do not pass, say for example you only want to update the ID and the age, when we come here and remove the name and send this, so it's going to get updated, but as you can see here our name is missing. Now when we send a request here, the name field is going to be missing. It's been set to undefined, so since it's an object, it will just disappear without retaining it. let's just put that back ourselves. So here now we are going to do the patch request. I'm just going to copy everything we have here, and then we do app patch /API /users /user ID parameter, taking our request and our response like that. So we just paste everything we have in here. So with this, we are just going to take the body, or we could leave our fields there, but for now let me just take the entirety of this body, right? The entirety of this body, yes. So let's come down here. From here downwards, we are assuming that we've already handled everything and our user exists. So from here we just have to update the user. So I'm just gonna say updated info like I did earlier, and I also forgot to say const. So const updated info is equal to also an object. So since we are going to patch in the user, meaning we need the old information, we are just going to spread our users at user index, and also we are going to spread our body here, meaning any value we have here is going to be spread out here, and if there is any value that is going to override this, it's going to override it. Let's just send back a response like this. Down here we do user updated successfully, and then we pass we print out this. That's just the difference. I mean, this is not a database, we are just using arrays here. As you can see, we are using arrays here. So we are the one to decide how we want everything to happen. So let's try sending a put request. So yep, we do have this. So we only want to change the age of number 2 to 74. If we were to check here, you can see that number 2 is 20 years old. And now if we change this to a patch request to the same route, and only the age is 74. Now when we send it, it said cannot patch /API /users/2. We are having /API/users. Yes, so this will hopefully fix it. And there we go, you see our age is being updated to 74. Also, just to make this clear, the patch request here, we use it to tell the client, or we use this HTTP method to only patch a specific field in our table. So for example, you have a social media application and the user wants to upload his bio. So to do that, you don't have to pass in all the old information that the user had, right? So you just need to pass in the new bio and it's going to be updated. That's where you would use a patch request. And for something like a put request is when you are trying to update everything that is in there. So maybe you are changing all the name of the fields or something like that, and then you take in everything you have and then update it. I just can't think of a good use case for this put request, but yeah, whatever. So here we can try changing his name only to, let's say, okay, name should be Ezujik, and there we go. If we get all of the users, we can see that wait, oh yep, we did not we did not update our users array or our fake database. So users at user index is equal to our updated info, like that. So now when we come back here, let's just put update the name to Jake, and there we go, we have the name as Jake. Let's also try changing the ID. ID and as you can see, we can also change the ID. This is not a good idea. This is not something we want to happen. Okay, so and also from our code, you see that anything we pass here, we just get added in there. So let's say bio. I love cooking. Yeah, we get a 404 not found error. Why are we getting this? Maybe I need to learn, maybe I need to learn more about the patch. Okay, this is a patch request. Oh, this is a patch request, not the put. Oh my goodness, I wanted to try it out with put request. I love cooking. So this doesn't work with a patch request. Okay, but what if we comment this out? Remove that comma. What is going on? Okay. I see. We no longer have user 2. Yes. So it means even with a patch request, when we pass a non-existent field, it's just going to get added in here. And the reason is because we don't have a schema for our database and we don't have our proper validation. And also we are just spreading everything we have here. So it's kind of our fault. Let's also try with put request. And users, let's do 4. You see we updated user 4. Let's try getting. Oh, interesting. User 4 becomes empty. That is because, okay, we didn't pass our name. Okay, now I get it. We only specified in here that we are going to update the name and the age, and also we are not raising any error when the age or name does not exist. So let's just copy this and add it here. Yes, so with this validation I think we'll be okay. So if we try putting in something like this, we get an error that name and age are required. Okay, so moving on to the very last HTTP request is app.delete. Well, this is going to be similar. So let's just copy the route. Our request, our response, like that. And then we are also going to validate the ID. We don't need our body. Yes, so if after all of this the ID or the user index exists, we are just going to remove that entry from our object. So let's just do users dot. We could use a filter function here to filter out that ID, but we could just use splice, and then we pass in the user index, and then we pass in 1, meaning we only want to delete one element, and that element should be the element that matches this ID. So let's save it and return a response. let's just use send. Let's do message, and then we say user deleted successfully. So now we can create a new request, but I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna change this to delete, and then the ID, let's delete user1. You see user deleted successfully, and now when we get, wait, what we are not okay. We have to see users is equals to users. That's nice, like that. Let's try deleting user. Wait, it worked. What is wrong with me, bro? We don't have to. We deleted user 4. That's why. Let's just try getting all of them. We have all of them in here, and then user 4. We delete user 4, and when we get, we don't have user 4. Let's delete user 1, like this. Yep, user 1 is gone. And yeah, I think that is basically it for this video. So if you've been enjoying the series so far, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also like the video. It really helped out a lot. So quick recap before I end the video. In the first part, which will be linked in the cards above, I don't know are they called cards, but you will see it in the top right corner of your screen. Click on it to watch the first part. In the first part, we actually explained what Express is, how to create an Express application, run it on a port, start your server, and start listening for requests. That is the last thing in this file. So we also, in the first part of the series, we created our home route or the empty endpoint, the /, which will return a message, hello world, and then we created one to get all of our users, which was the one we were using here. This is it. And then one to get a specific user. We've been doing that too. And also one to, okay, this one we did this today. So in this one we got the fields we are interested in, which is the name and the age. We are going to use the name and the age to create a new user, and this is just some validations we added to check if name or age is empty. If we don't have a name or we don't have an age, we are going to send an error. The only condition that will make us not throw an error is when both of them are available. So once we have that, we just add it into the array and then send a 201 response. And also we talked about the put method, how it is meant to actually update everything you have in an entry. For example, if I was to put to send a put request to update this last entry here, I will need to pass the ID, the name, and the age. But we said that is different with the patch request. Patch requests are meant to only patch a specific part of our entry, meaning we could only pass an age and it's going to update only the age. Okay, this is age or the name. So that is it for this video. Once again, if you enjoyed this series, make sure to like and subscribe, and also really like to hear from you guys, so make sure to leave a comment below. Thank you so much and peace out.